We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 274, I believe. I am your man behind the microphone and your new Scholars of Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Scholar Jeff. To my right is the Scholars of Wrestling Party Champion, Scholar Tarek. How's it going tonight, sir?
Title 5.
Title 5 indeed.
And with that, you're not giving yourself enough credit. I'm going to do a fantastic Scholars of Wrestling introduction to the new, reigning, defending, well, he's not defending yet, but defending,
Eventually.
undisputed Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion of the world, Scholar Jeff.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you, Scholar Tarek.
You're welcome.
That was very kind of you. Wasn't that kind of him, former champion Scholar Brian?
It was. Mostly because it's the only time you're ever going to get to hear it. Because while I congratulate you on your victory, okay, it's a very quick turnaround. Enjoy it while you can, because in 2 weeks, okay, not only is the Scholars of Wrestling Championship coming back home, but I'm also going for the full Monty. First man ever to win both the Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship and the Party Championship on the same night.
Then it's not coming.
I'm going to be popping a little bit of the bubbly just like Chris Jericho did back in the day. So that's
A likely story.
How is that coming home when coming home means it's coming back with me? Because I was the inaugural Scholars of Wrestling champion, so it's the home is on my shoulders. It's now just it was just spending time with Uncle Brian.
But once again,
Don't have to go home if you never
once
leave
again,
home.
okay, it's not what have you done, it's what have you done for me lately. And yes,
And
you
what I
may
did
be
for you
party of
lately is
champions.
taking your title.
Exactly. You, not you.
Anyway, yes.
I'm still on top of you this year. That came out wrong.
That's what she said.
That
She's
came
a-
out wrong.
oh,
But you know what did not come out wrong?
You ever have one of those moments where you just say something and immediately regret the
But
words
it's-
that came out of your mouth?
you
All the
regret
time.
nothing. But good job. It's taken you the third year of us actually doing it for you to actually reach the top of that mountain.
Hey,
I've already been there twice. It was very nice. I
hey,
think you'll enjoy
guess
it.
what? Maybe now with your second title reign, okay, maybe you can step your game up a little bit.
This is my third.
Third, whatever. And your most has been 99 days. So let's get on it.
Hey.
That's it. Your
And
turn.
every single day is a delight, especially when you have surprises like we got at Crown Jewel.
You'll reach that triple days.
I know I will. But in the meantime, even after this, we still have another pay-per-view on the horizon. In just
It's
a
not
couple
just
days.
it's not just another pay-per-view. It is our first AEW pay-per-view. Full gear, baby.
Oh, yes, and we got a lot to talk about there. But first, we would be, with the way things went, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about WWE Crown Jewel, at least a little bit, especially
because I
that
brought it
ending.
up.
Oh, come on, I wanted to talk about this. I got the
Of
belt
course you
from
wanted
it.
to talk about it.
Overall impressions of the show. What did you guys like? What didn't you like? What surprised you? Fire away.
I'll say this right now. Out of the four, I think this was the best one. However, that's not saying much because it's not really that high of a bar to jump. Now, you had your moments, okay, that Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman. No, never again.
That was
Don't
just
do
sad.
that. That would and Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar. I understand why they did what they did because Cain Velasquez is hurt, and Brock wanted to go home, and that's fair. So that, but everything else, it's a house show. It's a good house show with a title change. That's it, pretty much. And
what a title change.
For the change if you count ours.
For the actual title match, okay, it was the Hell in a Cell match exactly without the Hell in a Cell. That's pretty much what it was. It was a retread. So, once again, house show match. That's what they do. So that's it.
I will absolutely agree with you that this was one of the better, it's probably the best Saudi Arabia show that they've put on. And I'm not just talking about the surprise ending. I'm talking about everything from the match quality itself to the endings of the matches, of course. Can't miss that. And also just how long the matches were or were not. Specifically, the celebrity matches. Thankfully, they were relatively short and they didn't overstay their welcome and they didn't take up anybody's time. That was one of those little things I was very personally appreciative of the entire show.
It was a decent show. In my personal opinion, I would have actually changed the Cain Velasquez Brock Lesnar match to have that one be end as kind of like a no contest, so neither guy would look bad. I mean, I understand that Cain Velasquez was hurt, but I'm kind of like in the same ballpark of how Brian Alvarez was putting it. How it was just like a complete burial. Just how he got pretty much no offense, and he just got completely destroyed. Where it had to be Ray to save him. For a first time appearing in the ring and having a multi-year contract, it's not exactly the best thing to look at. But again, injury made it understandable. I probably would have ended it like with some where the match never really got underway.
Yeah, like the bell never rang. Yeah. He just took out his knee and did and did exactly what he did to him. Just never actually start the match. Never
had him lose, and lose by submission was, in my opinion, even worse. The tag team turmoil was actually the big shocker because actually, in a way,
you would expect like a tag team. What you would expect was at least one set of tag team champions to win. Okay, I was actually pleasantly surprised when they were like the OC. Okay,
I'm like, you know what? I'm actually okay with that. And it's now building a story between the Viking War Raider experience and the OC. Well, continuing the story because they eliminate each other the last time they had a tag team turmoil match.
Yeah. But let's face it, with this show, okay, the story coming out of this show has nothing to do with anything that happened on the show. It was what happened after the show that anyone is going to talk about for years to come. Like, as much as I hate to say it, no one's going to be talking about the show where the Fiend won the Universal title. No one's going to be talking about Cain Velasquez getting buried in a minute and a half. Nobody better ever be talking about Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman. Everyone's going to be talking about what happened with that plane.
Oh yeah.
And everyone and of course the show of the week got to talk about SmackDown because of what came out.
Unexpectedly, the best show of the week.
I agree.
Wow.
Like WWE works best when they have no idea what's going on. No one is there when their back is against the wall. Like legit. Like none of your stars, none of them, except Brock Lesnar.
Except the people who chose not to go.
Except the people who chose not to go and Brock Lesnar because he's Brock. That's it. No one's going to keep Brock Lesnar where he doesn't want to go. That's it.
Pretty much.
So, and with what they did to pull off that SmackDown, like, they squandered it immediately because Raw was the shits. But
Raw was actually pretty
bad.
good. It wasn't.
I wasn't. with what they did on Friday, what they did on Monday was a disappointment compared to what they did on Friday.
I agree. But it's not taking away the fact that it actually was a good show. Like, Raw actually was was actually a decent show all around. It's just SmackDown. It was just pretty much a copy and paste to SmackDown, but SmackDown was 10 times better.
SmackDown was 10 times better because it came out of nowhere. Like you knew that they were gonna have to bring guys in. Mm-hmm. You knew because everybody's in Saudi Arabia. Everybody who's anybody is in Saudi Arabia. So you knew they were going to have to bring guys in. And when they announced that NXT was going to be a part of the Survivor Series build, it was like, okay.
It made me very intrigued. And for what they did these last shows, made me super pumped for Survivor Series.
And it's sad because I know where it's going. But okay. But the beginning of the build, at the very least, has indeed made me excited for a WWE show for the first time in God knows how long. That's it.
So overall, looking back at Crown Jewel, if you had to give it a beard rating, what would you give it?
Well, I'll go since I was cut off on my review of it. Don't just blow me off. With that said, it had good wrestling. For me personally, match of the night was Mansoor versus Cesaro. And the one big disappointing factor is now, after him constantly losing and just not really impressing me, I'm not very much a fan of Humberto Carrillo. He's pretty much getting Cedric Alexandered. And then the Fiend Seth Rollins was meh, but it was the right result. So had good moments, but it also had bad moments. It's straight down the middle. I'm giving it a classic goatee.
As I said, it was a house show with a title change. Because of the title change, and because I was a fan of the result of the tag team match, and Cesaro and Mansoor was just great, I can actually give it a classic goatee. Normally, I would give a house show, as you well know. We normally give it a peach fuzz because it's a house show, but it had good matches. I agree with Scholar Tarek completely.
I had to think about this one because I knew this question was going to come up eventually.
Take the title
He's
win out.
going full beard. It's happening.
Well, let's seriously. Let's just take a moment and just look at this. It was a good length. It provided enough entertainment value for what we got. The celebrity matches, the ones we really did not want to see, they didn't overstay their welcome. They kept it to a bare minimum as much as possible. There was a great tag match. There was a great match with Cesaro and Mansoor. We got the end result that we wanted. We got the end result that I wanted.
I caught that.
It's both. It's not mutually exclusive. I got what I wanted. We got collectively what we wanted. Yowie wowie. So yeah, I got to give it a full beard. I like this show. I actually liked it.
Yeah, as I've told both of you, my reaction to Bray Wyatt winning the title was
I'll tell you what. I told you this before we went on taping. When it happened, I was home. I was giving out candy to the local trick-or-treaters since, Halloween. My wife was in the other room getting changed into her Bailey costume. And all of a sudden I hear her come out, and I'm handing out candy to the kids, and all of a sudden she just says, "Hey, wait, did Bray Wyatt just win?" Because I missed the pinfall. And next thing I know, I look over at the TV, me dressed as Bray Wyatt for Halloween, and all I see is just the Fiend holding up the title, end of show. I'm just like, yes, some things are just meant to be. Like the river flows gently to the sea. Some things were meant to be. And the Fiend as and as Universal Champion, that was one of them. I was sports entertained. I dig it. Full beard.
I will say, though, for the tag turmoil match, if the matches actually were given more time, I probably would have agreed with you, but they were only given, like, at most 4 minutes. They were basically like, get it done, get it quick, get it quick, get it quick.
Mm-hmm.
If some of those matches were given more time, like, I know the B team is not going to get a lot of time. I know the Lucha House Party is not going to get a good time. The Broski Bros aren't going to get along. The Broski Bros.
I still love that name.
Yeah.
I'll try and pitch that to them, see if they actually answer. Unlike certain people, I've tried to send tweets to Bray like 5 different occasions, and I haven't gotten one answer.
Yeah, I'm sure he gets a lot.
I know, but still, you would think the tweet of him being as one of 4 people to win both the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. You would think he would have acknowledged that, but no.
No.
Oh.
Tomorrow is another day.
I mean, he's in the same club as Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, and now Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Only 4 people are in that. That's a pretty big deal.
Yes, and now that he's finally gotten the recognition that we all feel he deserves. Now it's a Daniel Bryan effect. Now he's free to do just about anything under the sun. Now that he's gotten his just desserts.
Here's a Scholar's Quick Talk for the both of you. Who do you want to see the Fiend face next?
I don't know if it's next. Next, he can face any number of people. But given what we thought was going to happen at Survivor Series and what we thought they were going to set up, I was really looking forward to the theoretical Fiend versus Brock Lesnar versus Adam Cole match.
Hey,
we could still get Fiend versus Cole.
We could.
At this point.
And if that happens, then Adam Cole will get eaten.
He'll get his neck broken.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's...
but the spectacle in the getting there will be lots of fun. But speaking of lots of fun, this weekend we have an AEW show to talk about. AEW Full Gear. The first AEW prediction that we're going to be doing. The title is not on the line because I know you're all thinking it. This is strictly a experimental exhibition. Yes, you did. But no, I'm holding on to this. Survivor Series, you can take your shot then, but until then, it's mine. I'm going to treasure it.
We're like WWE, Brian. You don't get automatic rematches.
Yeah.
That's true.
Automatic rematches are for suckers. Anyway.
Right, JMO?
Oh, shots fired. Oh.
All right.
Oh, gotta dodge that one.
Moving on.
Dodge it.
AEW Full Gear. Let's get right into it, starting with the pre-show match of Bea Priestley versus Dr. Britt Baker.
Champion goes first.
This one is a tough one, considering a lot of rumors are going around that AEW really wants Britt Baker to be a thing, their equivalent to Charlotte Flair. And I gotta say, I don't really see it. Meanwhile, I'm seeing a whole lot of hype building over Bea Priestley. So for this one did not come easy. But for this one, I'm going to go with Bea Priestley. Just because I want to see it. And Britt Baker is just okay.
Britt Baker will get her win, just not this show. I'm also going to go with Bea Priestley. I just think that it's just going to... This is going to be the first of a series of matches between the two, and I think Bea is going to get the first one through dirty means.
We're starting it the way we always start it. I'm going with Priestley. Mostly because...
This bodes very well.
Mostly because Riho needs more heel challengers. Because that'll also go into my pick to that later. So, and also with the storyline going into the Indies, which was Bea Priestley's the one who concussed Britt Baker. So Bea Priestley can get the win here. She can win the title. And then
Britt Baker versus Bea Priestley for the title.
Exactly. So
that would make sense.
Bea Priestley gets the win here, becomes number one contender for the title at the next big show. And then she gets the win there, and then say, what is it, All Out next year? Chicago? All Out 2 or whatever? Then
So is All Out going to be their WrestleMania?
I believe so. That was what Khan said after the first one.
Okay.
All right.
Basically, they were going to be in Chicago every year that weekend. So
Okay, then. Something else to look forward to.
Yeah, so Bea Priestley for the win here.
All right. Next match going on to the main card, we've got the bad boy Joey Janela going up against the chairman Shawn Spears. Gentlemen, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with. I really don't. This match was kind of. I don't think there really was much added thrown into this one.
You got to watch Dark to understand how this match came to be. If you didn't watch Dark, then then you were really confused on Dynamite when Joey Janela ran into the ring.
Dynamite kick.
Dynamite kick. AEW Dynamite kick.
AEW Dynamite kick. I'm gonna go with Shawn Spears.
Any particular reason? Because 10.
Because 10.
All right.
I know. He does. He's not. That's not his thing no more.
It's a stupid idea from bad creative.
But it worked.
It did work.
Except 10.
It did work.
Except 10 wasn't WWE creative.
It was actually his idea.
That was his idea.
Like, so that's it. No, it was there. It was WWE Creative's idea to kill it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because they hate money.
Because Vince McMahon didn't like 10.
Because Vince McMahon doesn't like creativity that's not from him.
Yeah. All right, Brian. So who do you got?
Joey Janela's that guy who they run out just to piss off Jim Cornette. That's it. They like to do that.
I can see
the elite.
That's Marco Stunt you're thinking of.
No, it's basically Joey Janela and Marco Stunt. I think he hates Joey Janela more because Joey Janela actually talks back on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, and the members of the elite hate Jim Cornette. So they're like, all right, so he doesn't like this dude. Let's run him out there. But and Shawn Spears is the one who needs a victory here. Because he's lost to Cody Rhodes, he's lost to Jon Moxley. Yeah, he's got wins over non-essential talent like Cutler, but they treat
and
Joey
Michael Nakazawa.
Yeah, they treat Joey Janela well. So they're gonna give Shawn Spears the win here because Joey Janela doesn't get hurt from this at all. They're still gonna run him out there. So, and then Shawn Spears can go and attack Hangman Page or something like that, whatever, get himself into a storyline again.
I'll tell you what, with all the AEW I've been watching, it seems like they've been bringing out Joey Janela. Joey Janela's been putting in work.
Yeah.
And all that being said, I'm going to go with Shawn Spears for this one too, just because it seems like you're absolutely right. My logic is they seem to really need to make him a really major heel. And Joey Janela is going to be Joey Janela. He's just going to be just fine. But as for Shawn Spears, it's his turn right now. Elsewhere on the card, we've got another tag title match for the AEW tag team titles. We've got a triple threat tag match. SCU versus the Lucha Bros versus Private Party.
SCU won the titles 2 weeks ago. They're not losing here. Private Party's in this match to take the pin. Because they're going to build up for a rematch. SCU versus Lucha Bros. Private Party's the odd team out here. And, you're not going to give SCU the inaugural tag team title reign and then have them lose 2 weeks in. It's not going to happen. SCU takes the win here.
I wish I could give you a more interesting prediction, but yeah, SCU is going to be it. I don't think they're going to lose it that soon. There needs to be at least, I'd say at least one more major show before they give it up.
When it comes to title matches, I'm looking at this one, comparing it to Crown Jewel. So I'm also going to go SCU. I think that's a small hint of what's going to happen for our next match. But yeah,
probably. Brian,
what you said, you took the words right out of my mouth. They were just given the tag titles 2 weeks ago. I'll be surprised. Just watch, Private Party was put in just to take the tag title. Yeah. Like, they were in and just to steal the tag belts. I'm like, damn it. It's like the complete opposite of what I predicted. But yeah, I also SCU.
All right, next match. For the AEW Women's Championship, we've got Riho as champion defending against Emi Sakura. Let's be real. This is one of those matches that Kenny Omega just booked to please himself.
Sure. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Because we're getting good Japanese women wrestling. So, fine.
It's like Joshi wrestlers are the best wrestlers.
Did you watch Countdown?
I did not.
Yeah. All Kenny Omega talks about in the build-up for his match with Jon Moxley is how he loves Japan and how Japan made him who he is. And Jon Moxley's talking about Philly, and they're showing CZW footage, and Kenny Omega's just talking about Japan the whole time.
That sounds
so it's
right.
like this. Yeah, I would completely believe it if this was just to give Kenny Omega the happies before he goes and gets murdered the night before.
Yeah, really. That's just to me. It's just a little much for me. It's just like talking so much about Joshi wrestlers just all the time. It's just too much. By the way, did anyone see how the Kabuki Warriors were doing? I heard they were having a really good week this week.
Not really.
Sure.
Not really. I was just making a joke.
Not really.
But anyway,
I know what you were doing. It sucks because originally they were supposed to win that tag match, but it was last minute decision change. It was last minute change because blondes, and that's Vince McMahon's.
We need more blondes, damn it.
That's his go around.
That's all right. Natalia's gonna get murdered by the Joshi wrestlers.
All right, back to Joshi wrestlers. Riho, Emi Sakura. Who do you got?
I think it's you. You go first.
Yeah, Riho. I don't really know too much about Emi Sakura, but she made a fairly good showing for her in the last match. But yeah, they're setting up Riho for something much bigger. Emi Sakura, they're gonna put on a great show if what Kenny Omega seems to believe is true, but for the time being, no title change yet. Riho
as well, and from what I've heard about Emi Sakura is that she's just a mentor to Riho. So it's like facing your mentor type of ordeal. This is gonna be just a nice looking match. It's Daniel Bryan versus William Regal on main event.
He's a man.
He's a man. It's that match. It's just facing your mentor and overcoming the mentor. The student surpasses the mentor type of match.
Hey, remember what I said about SCU? Apply it to here too.
Riho it is?
Riho, maybe it... What, 2 weeks more?
Yeah.
She hasn't had a major show title defense yet. She's not losing it yet. So Riho wins and continues being Kenny Omega's favorite women's wrestling.
Hey, Kenny Omega likes his waifus. What can I say?
Yeah.
Now I think this might be a little something. Now I think we're getting to the more interesting picks. Next up, we have Adam Page versus Pac.
I call him Pac-Man.
Not to his face, I hope.
This was actually This was the hardest match for me to decide, really. But I'm gonna go with Pac, because I think they're planning something big for him, and that's involving the big belt, if you know what I mean.
Possibly.
I don't think they're putting if they do what I think they're gonna do with the main title okay, they're not gonna go heel versus heel. So it's not gonna be. I think here, okay, this is 50-50 booking that I'm fine with, because I think Hangman Page needs to win here. He doesn't have.
Does he though?
A big no. He doesn't have. He's lost to whatever his name to Pac already. He's lost to Chris Jericho.
His name is Neville. Duh.
Adrian Neville.
He's won tag matches up the ass, but he doesn't have like a big time singles win. And whether you see it in him or not, AEW wants him to be up there.
Oh, I love Adam Page.
I think they're gearing up more for Adam Page to get back into the picture. So Adam Page gets the win here. Pac already got the win over, and I don't think that AEW's big on the undefeated streak or records or whatever. So it's like Pac's already in the conversation because he's beat Hangman Page. He's beat Kenny Omega. He could take a loss. He's already beat the two big elite guys. So he's in the conversation whether he wins or loses. So yeah, give Adam Page the win here.
For this one, this was one of the first ones where I really had a lot of trouble trying to determine, okay, this can either go either way. How do I think it's going to go? After giving it some thought, I'm going to go with Adam Page.
Adam Page got to do that cowboy shit.
Even from the get-go, you could. I really did get the sense that Hangman Page is going to be a big heavy hitter in AEW. At least they want him to be. And plus, I think with Pac's savagery and all that, I think he can survive a loss. But this is Adam Page's match to win. We'll go from there
I'm just a heel guy, so I was like, get one nice big contender for Cody Rhodes' title reign. I'm thinking, who else than just a man who is just ripping through everyone?
That assumes.
Hey, I already made it clear. This is for me. It's Crown Jewel when it comes to title matches. So.
Well, we got another potential here. We've got the Young Bucks in a tag match against Santana and Ortiz.
Brian's go.
Brian's go? All right. Santana and Ortiz or the Young Bucks? Who do you got?
Santana and Ortiz. They haven't had a big-time tag team match yet. The Young Bucks have shown that they're willing to lose. They already lost to Private Party. So Santana and Ortiz need to win here. They haven't had a big... They beat Jobbers. So that was their one thing, and they had the 3-on-2 on the first show. But I'm not seeing a good night for the Elite here, except for Adam Page. I'm not seeing it. So Santana and Ortiz to get the win here. Proud and what is it? Proud and Powerful or whatever. That's their tag team name. Whatever the fuck that is. I'm just gotta go with LAX. That's it. That's it.
All right. For me, this is another, again, the rest of these matches, it could go either way, I think. I really do believe that. You heard me.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
And that's why
why I'm going to take a relative shot in the dark here. I'm going to say the Young Bucks win this one. Just because that, I don't know where Santana Ortiz can really stand when it comes to everything that's going on with them. I think they can survive a loss to Young Bucks and still be figureheads of just menace. But yeah, I'm going the Young Bucks.
I'm gonna second the Young Bucks.
Okay.
It's like they lost to Private Party. They want to try and go for those AEW tag belts. I think this is them leading in that direction.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying LAX, because SCU is a face team. So they need a heel tag team to go up against. So LAX. That's it.
All right, next match is one that it's going to really hurt me to try and pick. Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. I believe it's
you.
It's you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's like you get this one. Have fun with that.
This is actually kind of easy for me.
Well, this is honestly two of my favorite people in the company right now and in all of indie wrestling. If you can even call AEW indie wrestling at this point.
They started off as that. I think they've now reached that point where they're beyond that.
Either way, I'm having a very difficult time with this match. I thought about it a lot, and for this one, I'm just going to follow my heart on this one. And I'm going to say Jon Moxley.
Oh, shit. All right.
I'm going to say Jon Moxley because, let's face it, Kenny Omega, he just needs to have one good match and he's back. Kenny Omega just needs one good match and he's back. Jon Moxley, I feel like he is at the upper echelon of the roster right now. Like, he can go in at any time and challenge for the title. Like, just like that, no problem. Kenny Omega is sort of you can put him anywhere on the card and he'll be great. But Jon Moxley, for whatever all other reasons aside, he's probably my favorite guy in the company right now.
I'm going to second that. I'm also going with Jon Moxley. Just from that promo, one at first that you showed us last week, and then I looked into it myself. Yeah, I'm just from what he was saying before. I'm like, yeah, I think he's definitely gonna win. He's like, you people are looking over me. I'm going to show you that it was a mistake. That what you've been doing, thinking less of me is a mistake. I'm going to show you I am the real deal.
They've got two built-in storylines here. Okay, in this match, concurrently. Okay, the descent of Kenny Omega back into his cleaner character, which is basically his version of Moxley. Okay, so if he loses to Moxley, he can just keep descending into that headspace. Okay, and you have Jon Moxley versus the Authority figures that are like, I came in here. Okay, I can play by the rules. Okay, yeah, I put him through a glass table, but when it comes to the match, I can play by the rules. Just make sure that it counts. Oh, you're not gonna do that? All right, well then I'm gonna fuck your boy up. That's it. So you can't have him come out and say that, and then not have it happen. So Jon Moxley for the win here, and does he go for the title right away? No, I think there's gonna be some. I think he's going to go after more of the elite guys who are in charge that are calling him unsanctionable and not letting him have wins on his record. Because at this point, he would have 3. but he only has one because they keep putting him in unsanctioned matches.
Here's a quick Scholar's Quick Talk that I feel compelled to ask this before we move on. What was everyone's thoughts on Kenny Omega coming out as Sans from Undertale?
Nothing.
I enjoyed it because I know the backstory of that.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into his whole thing with Ibushi in Japan and all that. So it's like I understand the backstory, so I'm like, okay, cool. This is actually people who don't know about that whole thing aren't gonna get it. They're just
And
gonna be like,
I really don't know what Undertale
he's gonna
is.
come. He's gonna come. He comes out dressed as a video game character for Halloween, and people like Scholar Tarek over here are just gonna be sitting there like, all right, this is a thing. What's going on here?
It's like he's pretty much pulling New Day and just coming in on a special occasion as video game characters or cartoon characters, and one day he'll come out of a cereal box.
It does help that he's a known.
I don't think you can be coming out dressed as Sans. I don't think anyone really. I don't think most of the audience really knows who Sans is. Am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong.
Undertale is popular, but it's not that popular.
Yeah.
So
it's nerd popular. It's not mainstream popular.
And Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are well-known nerds.
Nerds.
Yeah. So it makes sense for them to do it. It's just one of those things where a lot of the people watching are gonna have no clue what's going on.
Like, oh,
They're like, oh, they're out in costumes. This is fun. All right, that's it.
Meanwhile, like all of Twitter the next day was like, I came out to Megalovania. Like, meanwhile, they're like, I don't understand any of this.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Either way, I enjoy it just because of all the confusion and havoc that it caused.
It's like, what? Why?
Because it's fun. But in any case, in the match that really ought to main event this show, we've got, for the AEW title, we've got Chris Jericho, Le Champion, versus Cody Rhodes. Gentlemen, who do you got?
Man, just from that from the promo this past week alone, and also adding that stipulation he threw in, kind of changed my tune. At first, I was going Chris Jericho all the way, and I was even going to do the big surprise of MJF turning on Cody Rhodes, like pulling a full on. It's like, sorry, It's like, I like what Chris Jericho's bringing, but no. Just from how the story went, and once you, and then also reach that point where when you are giving him the scarf to break down a window or a glass door, like, well, that just throws away that idea of him turning. It's like, you gave him the scarf.
See, I don't actually think it does.
I'm like, once he threw the stipulation is if he loses, he's never going for the title, like, ever. It's like, oh well, shit. That kind of changed the tune of the song I'm listening to. So I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes.
See, for me,
Smoking mirrors. Whoa. Sorry.
There goes Cody Rhodes.
For me, okay, it didn't change my tune at all because you want to build MJ because you have the outlier here. You want to build a hated heel. That this is not the WWE where they make the stipulation like that and then it's like, oh, okay, we know what's going on here. But it's one of those, if you go, AEW wants to go old school. And a way to go old school is to bring that heel that has to worry about being shanked every week by fans. Okay? Now, Cody Rhodes cut that promo that's got to go up there with Hard Times and all that, and says so many things that tug at the heartstrings, including the "I will never challenge for the title again." There's a loophole here. There is, because MJF turns, costs him the title. Chris Jericho retains.
Is that your pick?
That is my pick. But in that case, Cody Rhodes can bring it up later. He won't challenge for a while because he's Cody Rhodes and he sticks to his guns or whatever. But there's a loophole here. It wasn't clean. My best friend turned on me. You have the opportunity here to create the biggest heel in the business since God knows when. Since Roddy Piper. Okay, you have the opportunity to do that here. He just cut that promo. Everyone is on Cody's side here. Everyone wants to see him win. Nobody wants to see him not be able to challenge for the title ever again. And here comes that motherfucker MJF. Like that, print money, man. You have the chance to print money here. Okay. I hope that AEW is smart and takes it. Okay.
I'll tell you what. I was going to go Jericho here, but then I heard the promo. Is it possible that everything you're saying right now is going to come to pass? Yes. But there's still that twinge of doubt that tells me MJF
There's still that WWE mind in you.
No,
not necessarily.
if anything, I see them pulling Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and NXT, where he wins the belt. They're celebrating, and the show ends with MJF still turning on him, basically having like, all right, that's your next title feud.
I don't think that hits as hard. I think in order to differentiate yourself from the competition, which is the WWE, you have to go full bore here. You have to have the turn during
full gear.
You have to go with the turn. You have to go with the turn to cost Cody Rhodes.
So
the
to
match.
be different from WWE, you gotta get more heel heat.
Yes.
That's WWE's thing.
No, you gotta have that heel character that everyone wants to shank. Everyone wants to come at you with a knife. No one in WWE has been able to do that. No one.
They wouldn't be allowed.
But, okay, MJF is a heel. He is. Okay, the only thing he's got that is tethering him to the face side is Cody Rhodes. You want the next big star. You want the next big heel. The biggest thing you could do. Yeah, Cody can win the title. Everyone can be happy and whatever, and then MJF can do the dick move. Okay, but I think it's better to do the dick move, cost Cody Rhodes his chance. Cody Rhodes isn't going to go back on his word. You just pulled the biggest dick move of all time. Okay? You're MJF. Okay? He posts videos on Twitter of him crushing sandcastles that random ass kids do. And you expect him to wait. Until the end of the title match so Cody Rhodes can be happy. I'm like,
To
yes.
show he's better than Cody Rhodes by beating him for the title? Yeah.
I think you guys are so... Yeah, he cut the best promo of the last
10 years.
10 years at least. It's like he has all this sympathy going for him right now. Okay. If he wins the title, cool. It's gonna be a Bray Wyatt situation. I don't
It's
think
cool.
I don't think it's gonna happen again. I think MJF turns. I think Chris Jericho retains, and you have the feud of the century brewing between Cody and MJF because of the way he does it. It's not the same if Cody wins the title and then MJF turns. It's just another feud at that point. You could have a blood feud for the ages if MJF costs him the title.
Well, there you go. Those are our predictions for AEW Full Gear. Now is the time of the show where we turn over to you, our wrestling viewing and listening audience. Let us know what you think all across the internet. Who do you think is going to win? Any title changes? What did you think of Crown Jewel? We want to hear about it all. Drop us lines all across the internet, especially on Twitter if you want to get real up close and personal. Starting with our main account at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads and more. Fool, where can they reach you at your personal Twitter account?
You can reach me at the Avatar.
Brian, where can they reach you?
You can reach me crying into my water bottle because I'm no longer that.
Crying into your water bottle and drinking your own tears.
Yes. At Atomic Beanpole.
And sadness.
And you can join me and
It's
all
okay,
of my title adventures. You can join me in all my title adventures and conversations at I'm Robbie Rage. Join us all for the conversations. And hey, we're going to be enjoying Full Gear because you know who we are. We're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all at Full Gear and beyond.